Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, I'll be unboxing this. And I am very excited for it. Let's get rolling. Alright, so I am all set now to unbox my pledge for Earthborne Rangers. Now, I am filming this the last week of June of 2025, so I've never played Earthborne Rangers at all, but I pledged during the Legacy of the Ancestors campaign. So I've got the core box in here as well as Legacy of the Ancestors and some of the other ancillary items. Some of them are add-ons like neoprene playmats and ranger tokens, those sorts of things. I actually got the art book. I kind of like stuff like that, so I grabbed that in this case, as well as Moments on the Path, and I think that Ranger card doubler is in here, so we'll see. And so I'm going to unbox all this stuff, and let's get going. So this is coming from Flying Cloud Fulfillment, and I do have a pretty sizable smash on the side of this box. I hope everything is okay inside. The rest of the box looks all right. And so let's start getting it open. And I do really want to highlight here, while I'm opening this, I had the privilege of interviewing Andrew Fisher of Earthborne Games. We met at PAX Unplugged at the end of 2024, and I interviewed him. He agreed to that very graciously in January of this year of 2025. But I told him I would hold on to that interview. I would sit on it until I got my unboxing and then release them at the same time. So I've been sitting on that interview for close to 6 months. So I'm excited to release that simultaneously with this unboxing video. So let's get going. I see we've got some brown paper in here. I'm sure it's recycled paper. You know, the interview was pretty heavy on the environmental impact of gaming and just gaming manufacture and things along those topics. But we covered other things too, and including their new game, Earthborne Games' new game, which is Hub World Eidolon. So you can check that out too. Talked a bit about that. But let's see, we've got Legacy of the Ancestors, and all these boxes are held together with stickers. And so I think I'm going to leave the stickers on. That's what they recommend. What else have we got in here, though? This is Moments on the Path. That is smaller than I thought it would be. That's okay. It's hard to get the scale sometimes from pictures. These are the Deluxe Ranger tokens. So we'll be getting to that. What are these boxes here? Oh, these are Deluxe wooden tokens. So I got 3 sets of those, which is enough for 4 players. Maybe that's a little aspirational, but that would be fun. We've also got Stewards of the Valley. That's what I couldn't think of. Stewards of the Valley. Okay. Looks nice. We'll look at all these in more detail in a little bit. What is this? This is the Ranger card doubler. This appears to be the core. Oh, no. This is the art book. Ooh, I'm excited for that. I'll flip through that. Ooh, that looks good. I'll flip through that in a little bit. This, all right, so we got the neoprene playmats, 2 of those, and then the core box. And there was a little packing list in there, and it seems that I've got everything I ordered, so that's good. And now I'm able to sit down as well. I had to stand to do all that. Let's clear off this table. There we go. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, there's so much to get to. So I'll try and do this in a logical order, but now is as good a time as any to remind you that all of my videos, including this one, do have chapter markers. So if you're looking to see one thing in particular, feel free to head to that part of the video. All right, so in sort of typical Table for One fashion, my intent now is to open each of these things and kind of quickly look at the components inside, and then I will sort of sort through it on my own and give you some more detailed thoughts in the second half of the video. So I assume there is no better place to start than with the core box. So here is the Earthborne Rangers core box. It looks very nice. Let's flip it over here. Here's the back. And so for these stickers, it looks like this one's already ripped, and that's fine. This one held. I'm just going to use this same box cutter to gently cut through the sticker. And it is recommended. They say you could do that with a playing card, actually, but you know, my cards are in the box. But they recommend you just leave the sticker on. I wish that one wasn't quite so jagged. I suppose you can take them off, but they might leave a residue, and I think it's a water-soluble ink that's on the box. So they recommend if you're going to try and take these stickers off, be very careful. Use, I think, a mix of Goo Gone and water and just gently apply it to the affected area to try and get the sticky parts off. But I think I'm just going to leave the stickers on. I'm not really that bothered by it, although the jagged one I might try and clean up a little. But here we go. All right, so we've got The Lure of the Valley. This looks like the storybook. So I won't linger too long because we're not wanting to read this right now, but it looks like this is the book you open up. It says find paragraph whatever and read it. And then here is your campaign tracker here on the back. I wonder if you get any extra copies of that or if that's available as a PDF, because I will certainly want to play this more than once. Then again, I don't really know what I'm looking at. Maybe you can play this like a bunch of times. All right, so that is that book. Here is the rule book. Also very lovely. Looks like it's just these are real close-up images from other parts of the box. This is here. Looks really nice. Love the artwork. I will read this rule book before I play, but I did watch a really great video the other day. I think it was by Team Covenant. It was high up on the BGG charts anyway, so they did a really good job sort of doing a tutorial that doesn't have any spoilers either. All right, there's the rule book. Here is the Valley map. It feels more sizable than I expected from watching other videos, and even probably from just looking at my own monitor here. This feels a little bit larger and more substantial than it comes across on video. So this is really nice. I don't really know what I'm looking at, but it's a cool map. I love a good map, right? Now we've got our punch boards. Punch board. I've got one punch board, okay. Here's our, I don't remember what these are. I want to say spirit, maybe awareness, fitness, and something else. And then we've got harm and anti-harm, whatever the opposite of harm was. Here's our ranger tokens. Anyway, these are the main cardboard tokens, but I've got the wooden upgrades. And then it looks like we've got 6 compartments in this box. The organizer is pre-assembled, which is nice. I thought I was going to have to be assembling that. But I also thought that there were 9 compartments. Now it's 6. They may have made a change. And all of our cards are in this paper wrapping. So I'm going to do a real careful inventory of these. I just note that this one on the top here says Grassland 2 of 12. Below it is 3 of 12, 4 of 12. So I question, where is 1 of 12? Hopefully it's here somewhere. So I imagine these bands are all holding together similar items or like items. This one appears to be the dividers. So I will get into these later, but there's 2 stacks here. I don't really know what I'm looking at. There's one big stack here. This one has one big stack of these. One big stack like this. Yeah, I guess I should have showed you some of the backs of these. I don't know if they're all different or not. It looks like maybe an advertisement for Hub World Eidolon. What else? We've got one deck of cards like this. And one more in that compartment. So this is the only compartment with 2. And hopefully somewhere is that card 1 of 12. That'd be a disappointment if I was missing a card already. Oh, there's a one of, oh, it's Ravine though, and this says Grassland. Yeah, I'll do an inventory later. That is it for the Earthborne Rangers core box. So again, after I've done a detailed analysis, then in the second half of the video, I will give you some more thoughts on that. But so far, looks pretty good. Next up, let's get to the other main item. We've got the Legacy of the Ancestors campaign expansion. So this is like, the core box has like the campaign in it, and then this is like a new campaign with a new area from the way that I understand it. And I think they're going to do like 3, I don't know, probably 2 to 4 more of these is their plan for the Earthborne Rangers series. You can, again, watch that interview that I did, that I released today. We do talk about that. All right, that was no big deal getting those stickers off. And let's get this one open. So not quite the size of the core game box, but I suppose it doesn't need to be. We've got, here's the Legacy of the Ancestors. So this must be just like the story type book that you would refer to as you play. This is longer. Both of these storybooks were longer than I thought they would be, and I'm kind of pleased with that. I thought they were super short and just part of the rule book, but they're not. All right, we've got Legacy of the Ancestors campaign tracker, double-sided. And here's a map of the valley. And then when you open it, you have a map of the arcology. And what's on the back? Oh, more the arcology, different stratums, the cage. Cool. This will be fun to explore. This looks really nice. We've got punch tokens, and I think that this campaign adds some new mechanics. I think that cards could be either powered or energized, something along those lines. So I bet that's what this cardboard punch token set is. They all say 3 on the back. That's interesting. All right, so we've got 4 compartments in here. Again, this is pre-assembled, so that's nice. 1 set of cards here. Again, it starts with 2 of 3. Gosh, that worries me. All right, so 1 set of those. 1 set of whatever these are. 1 bundle of cards. In this quadrant, looks like that's horizontal. I don't know if I've seen any other horizontal cards. I think that's a location when it's horizontal. I'm not really sure. I'll have to play the game to find out. And then this looks like dividers. So more dividers for these different things. And that's it. So again, I will sort through all that and then give you some more detailed thoughts in the second half of the video if you want to jump to that. Otherwise, let's open the next box. And I think that's the Ranger card doubler. Let's get that one done. This one's got the same stickers. Not having any issues with these. And I think that this is just for if you want to play 3 or 4 players. It's just extra copies. I think 2 more copies of each of the Ranger cards. So doubling what comes in the core box. And I think they only did that for the base game, because I think some new classes or something were added with Legacy of the Ancestors, and I think they decided just going forward, they're just going to give you enough copies rather than need doublers. So we've got 3 packs of cards here. On the back, they are these types of cards, and another Hubworld Eidolon advertisement or something. I wonder if it comes with a few Hubworld cards. I wonder if that's what that is. So these should all be cards that are already in the main game box. And I'll probably try and, when I do organize everything, just fold these cards into that main box. So rather than store them separately, I don't know if there's a need for that. So that's the Ranger card doubler. Here's the, I don't know if I really showed off the box, but it's pretty nice. Okay, moving on, we've got Stewards of the Valley. And this one, unfortunately for me, is pretty bashed in here. This corner got messed up. So it looks like it's the lid and the main box. That's too bad. So here's Stewards of the Valley. So these are new cards for your Rangers when you're setting up. It says here there's 193 new cards, including new background set, a new specialty set, and new cards for each of the backgrounds and specialties from the Earthborne Rangers core game. So let's get this one open. I'm going to very carefully open my bashed in box. At least it wasn't the core box. That would have been very sad. Okay. It's not totally destroyed. It'll still work. So Stewards of the Valley comes with this sort of large fold out. Oh boy. So it tells you about this new background, Tail Spinner, and a new specialty, Spirit Speaker. Details on the cards that are included there. And then, a list of components, new concepts, new keywords. Cool. Again, I will, as I keep saying, give you more details in the second half after I've gone through it. But it looks like we've got a pack on top of more dividers and 2 decks of cards in here. 2 sets of cards. Okay, great. Everything appears to be in order. Let's open something else. I think next we'll do Moments on the Path. So this is just new path cards. It's 34 new path cards. Oh, interesting. Okay, I see this sticker here. That one's a little awkward to try and remove because the cardboard that it's holding down is not like a straight line. What kind of weird shape is this? I think something's tucked. There we go. Yeah, it's holding down something with a corner shape. So that was not an ideal spot for that sticker. Over here would have been a little better just because I didn't really understand the edge I was trying to cut around. But we made it work. So this folds apart, and we have 2 more dividers, valley moments and underground moments, and some cards. I'm not quite looking to flip them all over because I don't know what's spoilery and what's not, but here's the top. Here's a list of the components, 16 valley moments, 16 arcology moments, 2 general path cards, and 2 dividers. Okay, so again, I'll probably fold this into the main game box and the core game box. I don't see a reason to keep it in this separate pack, but we'll come back to that in the second half. Now let's look at some things that are not necessarily cards. So we'll start with these Deluxe Ranger tokens. And a different kind of sticker on this one. It looks like it's already busted. So that one fell apart, but there's a sticker on the top and that one's intact. So these are just little wooden Ranger meeples that take the place of the cardboard tokens. Oh, and these are a little bit larger than I thought they would be. They're very nice. Double-sided. So each one unique shape, and then it's got the artwork on it. Yeah, these look great. And these are bigger than I thought, which I really like. They look really good. Yeah, a little bit chunkier than I thought, but happy with it. So again, these can probably fit somewhere else. I don't know that I'll need to keep this little box, but there's 8 of those. Basically what I expected, except a little bit bigger. And I think that I say that in a positive way. These are really nice. Great Deluxe Ranger tokens. And now I've got these other wooden tokens. I've got 3 boxes of this, but let's just open 1 box. They're all the same. The campaign stated that 1 box is enough for 1 player in most situations, but there may be extraordinary circumstances where you would need 2 boxes. 2 should be enough for 3 players, and 4 players will need a 3rd set. So we've got each set has 3 of these tokens. I think these are spirit. I think these are fitness. These are big wooden chunky tokens. I got these. These were not originally part of my order. I got them after watching, probably like a lot of people, after watching the Shut Up and Sit Down Earthborne Rangers review, and they really made these tokens sound nice. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And then we've got 3 sets of dice. These blue ones. Looks like there's 5 of those. 5 of these red ones, and 5 of these. I'll say green. They're not, and they have green on them, but these are harm. These are, I forget what's the opposite of harm. Soothing, maybe? Soothe. And I don't know what this symbol is, but then each one, it looks like it has, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The symbol is just 1. So instead of using like a bunch of tokens, you can just kind of, pip up or down or whatever you need to do. So 3 boxes of these. And I'm sure I'll store them all together. Those seem nice though. Now let's do the playmats. I've got 2 neoprene playmats. One is for the shared space and one is for like your own personal ranger space. So let's roll this one out. All right, so this is like your own personal ranger one. So this is stuff within reach, your equipped gear, ranger deck, discard, fatigue stack, roll, and aspects. I don't really know what a lot of that means, but that's what's printed on here, so I'm reading it. This looks really great, though. I like the color palette. It's a little bit muted, and I think that gives it a somewhat calming aspect, but I really do like it. And I don't think they reprint these, because there was one from the original campaign, a player mat, where it was a forest as well. This is more of a valley. It was a forest, and there were like sunbeams coming in, and it looked really cool. And I could not find that anywhere. I thought that would be nice to have, but this is really lovely. So let's check out the second one. This is for the shared space, but I think it would be cool to have a variety of the. I mean, I guess it would be cool to have a bunch of these, but just like a different one for each ranger would be kind of fun, but also totally unnecessary. So this is the shared space. So this is, I'm not going to remember off the top of my head, Atrox Mountain or Atrox Mountain, which I think is a location in the game. So this would go above. Can't quite reach, but it would go up there. And, if near me, if I have things within reach, then in the shared space, there are things along the way, and there's our location. And if I want to interact with the location, I have to pass things that are within reach and along the way. And then other players can interact with things along the way before interacting with me, things of that nature. So really lovely. Weather, location, missions. Said along the way is at the bottom. Then we've got our challenge deck, challenge discard, path deck, and path discard. So this, I love the artwork on this one too. I like these little buildings sticking up. These are really cool. It gives some sense of scale to everything. So this is really lovely. I like this. So those are the neoprene playmats that I picked up. And again, I said aspirationally, maybe this will be a 4-player game at some point, but I only got the one Ranger playmat. That one's going to be mostly for me. And then lastly, I got the World of Earthborne Rangers art book, because I have a number of art books, not necessarily for games, but other franchises that I like. And I think the artwork in this game seemed pretty unique and cool, and so I wanted to grab it. I do like to just flip through books for franchises that I like, just for fun. So we've got Creating Earthborne, What We Remember. Looks like, I don't know if these are mostly locations, I think, but some other categories here: Life in the Valley, Rangers, Technology, The Valley in Detail. So this looks really cool. I don't know really what's going to be in it, how much text. So yeah, certainly text at the beginning for Creating Earthborne. Some early sketches, some full page artwork in between. And then maybe we skip ahead a little bit. I wonder if some of the locations, like as we start to get into it, is it still going to have text? Which I would be for. I like to read all this stuff. I like to get really into things when I get into them. Or is it mostly going to be artwork at the end? No, it looks like. Yeah, I think that's the artwork on my playmat, right? Yeah, there's a fair amount of there's a lot of text in here, and I am for it because I'm going to read it. That's really cool. I'm anticipating. I don't know. I played this for like a couple minutes at PAX, but I am anticipating that this might be like one of my top favorite games. It's a contender for being in that list. So like I said, when I get into something, I get really into it, and I'm going to want to learn all about this world. So this is really cool. I'm happy with this. Skipped over some of it, but that's great. That was lengthy, almost 100 pages. It's page 95 here, so. And lots of text. I wasn't sure. You never know with some of these, especially, I don't think it was done when I paid for it during the campaign. Yeah, that's great. I love it. I'm going to get to read about all this stuff, so very excited. So that was all really cool. My excitement level is high, and now I'm going to get to the work of sorting all this stuff out. So you stick around, and afterwards I'll go through the components again after I've had some time to take them in and give you some more detailed thoughts after sort of looking through all the pieces. So here we go. So I am back. Let's go over what I found. I'll give you a couple tips here, but my thought is I'm going to play this a little bit and learn more about how it functions, and then I'll come back and organize it better later. And I may do a video on that. Let me know if you're interested in knowing how I organize this later. But right now, in the base game box here, I've got all the cards that came with the Earthborne Rangers base game, along with the Ranger card doubler, the Stewards of the Valley, and the Moments on the Path. All of those are great. All of those are in here now. So a couple of things. One, I'm not missing any cards. That one that I was a little bit worried about at the beginning, where I grabbed a stack and it started with like 2 of 12. The 1 of 12 was just at the very bottom of another stack. So that was just an unfortunate way to cut that deck, but I did have all of the cards. So I was able to kind of sort through this and work it all out. Doing the Ranger card doubler at the same time made it in some ways easier to kind of organize and count while I was already doing it, rather than have to go back and add it in later. But in other ways, it made it a little tricky because I was trying to like do inventory well, checking the rule book. Do I have the right number of cards? Then I'm adding in another card, more cards from another box. But I think it worked out okay. So the Ranger card doubler, well, I don't know if I'm going to start there. Where am I going to start? Stewards. Let's start with Stewards of the Valley. This one had a bunch of dividers because it's like a little expansion, like a little mini expansion. And I did not use the dividers. I kept them. Maybe I'm going to want to add them in later because it added like more cards to, for example, here's the specialty, the Artificer. And so this added, and actually, let me show you. So these, oh, just missed one. There it is. These first few cards. The base game box came with one of these and one of these. Then the Ranger card doubler gave me another of each of those. And then Stewards of the Valley gave me this one here. So I added the third one in because these are all kind of like alike. So like you can choose from this one or this one or this one. Then I kept all of the base game cards with so these are the Artificer cards. So 2 copies came with the base game, another 2 copies came with the Ranger card doubler. So I kind of put them together like that. And then at the very back, you see these are like sorted by color. So we got the greens, the reds, the blues, the orange, and then at the end of the orange, these are the cards that came with Stewards of the Valley. So I got a couple more green, a couple more red, a couple blue, a couple orange. And so there were dividers where I could like store these a little bit separately from these, but I don't know if I want that. But I can always add the divider in later. So that's sort of how the base game interacts with the doubler and Stewards of the Valley. One thing I didn't quite understand about Stewards of the Valley, though, it added the specialty of the Spirit Speaker and the background of the Tail Spinner, but it only gave you as many cards as would have come with the base games. Like the Ranger card doubler doubled the number of cards for the other specialties and backgrounds, but it did not double those cards, and this did not come with doubles of those cards. So I've got like half as many Tail Spinners and Spirit Speakers as I do the other cards. I don't know if that matters, but just letting you know that's the case. Also, I grouped all the aspect cards together. So it looks like I grouped them with the help cards, but these are the aspect cards. Each Ranger has one of them. So the Ranger card doubler doubled them. So I guess the base game came with one deck of these cards. I think there's 12 of them, and they're all unique. And then the doubler gave you double. And then the Stewards of the Valley gave you these ones with 4s on them. There were no 4s. So these were all balanced at 3, 2, 2, 1 in different configurations. And the Stewards of the Valley gives you these different 4, 2, 1, 1s. So you're really specializing hard in one thing and then bring 2 traits down to 1. So that's a little bit more advanced. So again, there was a divider card just for those, but I kind of mixed them in with these. I know if it's got a 4, it came with Stewards of the Valley. Will I want to separate it someday? Maybe. I kept the divider. What else? I sort of did the same thing with personalities. I just kind of took all the Stewards of the Valley personalities and put them in with the rest of them. What else have we got here? I'll show you, by the way. Personality cards. Sorting this out took some thought. Personality cards kind of look like this. They've just got these, I don't know what to call them, but these geometric, very line-heavy designs on them. These are the personality cards. Some things that were a little tricky. So, yeah, personality cards, for example, like these are labeled. Most of the cards have some sort of numbering system. So these say personality 1 of 16. But I've got 4 copies of this first one, so they all say 1 of 16. So there's not really 16 cards there. There's 64 cards there because there's 4 copies of each. So keep that in mind. Melodies, rewards, unlocked rewards. What else? Let's look at. Let's do this real quick. So just for newbies like me, and I even knew this going in, and it still confused me for a second. Aspects look like this. Challenges look like this. They are different. They look very similar, but the challenges are all going to have some sort of bar down here at the bottom, and only the challenge cards will have negatives or zeros or pluses, whereas the aspects will just be just be numbers. So keep that in mind. Don't get those confused. Also, let's look at the weather cards for a second. There were only 3 cards. No, 4 cards, but don't let it fool you. So at the bottom, these say weather, 1 of 8, 3 of 8, 5 and 8, and 7 of 8. And I was like, where's my other 4 cards? It's the backs of these cards, 2, 4, 6, and 8. So there's only 4 cards, but they're numbered twice, which is a little bit confusing. But there you go. Also, the path cards. So most of them are labeled. So I've got general path cards, and then there's path cards for like each of the different types of terrains you might go through. So it's grasslands, lakeshore, mountain pass, old growth, ravine, river, swamp, the valley, woods. I arranged mine alphabetically like that. And then there's pivotal locations, and it doesn't actually, these aren't labeled pivotal locations. It's just basically everything else, which was kind of tricky. So why don't I at least tell you what the pivotal locations are? And there's a different amounts of these. So there's branch. I've got 5 of those. We've got fractured wall. We've got Lone Tree Station. Marsh of Rebirth. Meadow. Northern Outpost. Spire. And Tumble Down. On White Sky, and I think that's it. So there's pivotal locations, but they don't tell you what they are. So it's basically if it's not called out in any of those other terrains, then it's a pivotal location. And then I did separate out valley moments for moments on the path, and underground moments for moments on the path, because I think those have some slightly different rules. They came with these rules cards, so I'll figure that out, and I may or may not shuffle them in with maybe general, but I don't know, probably not. So what I envision myself doing here, let me show you the Legacy of the Ancestors box. So this is here, very similar type stuff. So we got missions, locations. This did come with 3 weather cards, but no divider for weather, which I thought was odd. So I just put it with locations. There are, again, a bunch of different types of path cards, including pivotal locations. And then there were a ton of rewards. What I think I'm going to do after I figure out exactly how to play and what I'm doing, I think I'm going to make this the gameplay box. So this will probably contain all of my path cards for both the core box, which is, again, Lure of the Valley. That's what this first campaign is. And I'll put this stuff from Legacy of the Ancestors in here. And I think I'm going to use this box to just hold all the things you use to build your character, because I don't think you really need the extras after you've built your character. So I think I'll put the specialties and backgrounds and aspects and personalities in here. And in this box, I'll have all the locations, rewards and earned rewards, these malady cards, weather, locations, all those sorts of things. Plus, I see that there's dividers here for Ranger Deck 1, Ranger 1 displaced cards, Ranger 2 deck, Ranger 2 displaced cards, etc. So if you're mid-game, you got to pack it up. I'll probably be able to put that stuff in here too, so that I can just grab this box and play. And then if I want to start over or make a new character or have a friend join in, I'll take out this box, be able to set that all up, and then go back to playing over here. Additionally, I think I already have an empty space here, an empty divider. I think I can probably bag up this stuff and get it in a divider somewhere, so that it'll stay with the box rather than have to be separate. So I didn't go messing around with that yet, because I want to play a little bit and figure out what's the most logical way to kind of get things organized. And so again, I'm going to do that either way, just for me. But if you would like me to do a video specifically kind of showing you how I've organized all this stuff, let me know and I can make that happen. I've done similar videos in the past, and I think people have found it helpful. So I am very excited and so far very pleased with Earthborne Rangers, the Legacy of the Ancestors, and all the other sweet add-ons that I've got. So let's maybe make a nice little tableau here. But please make sure to go watch the interview again that I did with Andrew Fisher of Earthborne Games, because I think it came out pretty well, and I appreciate that he took the time to do that. And I would like to think that that was not wasted time. So leave some comments over there as well, please. Otherwise, if you've got questions about anything that I showed in this video, let me know in the comments. If you like Earthborne Rangers, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like here so that I know that this is something you enjoy, and that kind of tells me you would like to see some content rather related to this game. So, definitely I can do the organizational video if that's something you'd like to see, but I'm still undecided on a playthrough because I know that this can be potentially a spoilery game and I don't want to spoil things for people. So I don't know what kind of appetite there is out there for an Earthborne Rangers playthrough or potentially a campaign playthrough. I'm still weighing the pros and cons of that. So if you've got opinions, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching Table for One. I do appreciate it. I hope you have an awesome week. Go watch that interview, and I will see you next time. Take it easy.